You're in the top 8. I want to hear your thoughts on how your deck performed this weekend.
Can I say whatever I want?
Whatever you want. Yeah, this is your moment.
It's not the deck, it's me.
Hey duelists, I thought I'd do a little video talking a little bit about my trip back from the NAWCQ. It was my first time actually going to a major event, and it was a lot of fun. There's definitely some things I would have done differently if I was on the event side, but like just I guess logistical stuff like making sure Neuron's working and all of your online signups are working, because that was a little rough for like the first couple of rounds, even for Genesis and the main event. It was a little rough. There was like only 500 some people playing in the Genesis event, and there was like 2,060 in the main event. And for like the first 4 rounds, like Genesis event was annoying. Kind of figured it out. Like everything was laggy. It was a little rough. But like, you know, you had to submit a deck list on Neuron, and then, you know, all of us were under the impression that maybe we'd be using Neuron. It worked for the first round, and then it just didn't work after that. So maybe like having an understanding about what your event is going to be needing, and like trying to make sure it's like, and I wouldn't say necessarily flawless, but pretty close to like working. But like on the next day on the main event, it was really crazy, because apparently everybody had the last name of M, because I'll post a little photo up here pretty soon of that I saw from Team APS's thing, and I photobombed it because I'm in the middle. But that was like the crowd you had to like try to navigate through after every single round, to just in order to get like your placement. And that was always rough, because after it take you like 5 or 6 minutes just to find your name on a piece of paper, or take a snapshot from a piece of paper, you then had to like go to find your table and start your match, so you didn't, you know, lose time. That was probably the only thing I probably really didn't like about the event, so I'll just get that out of the way. Other than that, I have never been, like I said, I've never been to one of these events before in my entire life. I've only recently been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For the last couple of years. And so like this last year or so is the only time I've actually really started to like put some effort into like regionals to get an invite. And like I finally got that invite last April in Lansing, which was really cool. And so it made me really excited to think about having an invite to go to NAWCQ. And I don't know what I was expecting, but the experience far outweighed what I expected, and it was so good in just so many ways. Like just the amount of quote unquote pro players that I saw just like in their element. Like I spoke with Jesse Cotton for a little bit, Team Sam, and just see how like human they are, because like there's so many times I've just watched some of their videos on YouTube or watched them play, and you just kind of see that, you just think like, wow, these guys are just on a whole another level. And in some ways, they are. They are very much on a different level than me. And but ultimately, it was just fun to just see it. I begged for Jerome to ban Shifter, and he said there was nothing I could do about it, which was a little heartbreaking. But you know, at least I tried. But no, I also want to talk about the deck that I took. But like, it was just a wonderful, wonderful event. And I got to go over early and be there Thursday to register for the free Genesis event. It was the first time they were doing that, and I thought, hey, why not? I'm there. It's going to be fun. And you know, I was able to get like a whole bunch of new cards, like some rarity upgrades. Like I finally got my Starlight Fallen of White. So please, Konami, don't hit this card just out of spite for me, because I just finally got these cards. But yeah, it was really, really good. I loved it. It was a lot of fun to see so many people there to just want to play Yu-Gi-Oh and have fun. Even so many of the people who like scrubbed out, which, spoiler alert, I totally scrubbed out. to be able to just go and play other events and go do more Yu-Gi-Oh and just have fun, and while something else is going on, like this major tournament, and to see Ryan win, like go 18-0 is insane. So kudos to him. He was definitely, when I saw the top 8 and I saw there was 7 Cool Tune and 1 Striker, because of my disdain for Cool Tune, I was naturally drawn for Ryan to win that, and he did. But he also said something that was really interesting, and I definitely played it at the beginning of this video, just because it was like him bragging on himself, which he should in that moment. But 2, it's not the deck; it was him. And I started thinking about it, like, because I saw this tweet that said something along the lines of, you can play 10,000 decks 100 times and still not understand anything, but if you play one deck 10,000 times, like there's something to show for that. And like I think that logic is probably the reason why I chose Branded to go in, because Branded's the deck that I knew the most about, and like kind of have been with. It was the deck that introduced me back into Yu-Gi-Oh. And so, yeah, I think there was like some sort of nostalgic portion to this. But I'll be honest, the format was very wide, which is not a bad thing. There was a lot to be unprepared for. And there was some aspects, like Roulette is a really, really rough matchup for Branded. And there was a couple times where I thought I knew what I was doing against I thought I knew what I was doing against it, and I just didn't. The decks that I did play, that I had some confidence into, like I knew what I was playing against. Like I had one Branded Mirror, I knew what I was doing. I played against Mitsurugi, knew what I was doing. But some of the decks that I didn't know what I was doing with, like even Cool Tune, I just had some really bad hands, and so like that was probably a deck construction part on my end. But like sometimes it's just, there was a little bit of a luck factor, but yeah, I was toying around with some of the stuff with this deck. I had a different deck list up until like about 8 or 10 hours before the cutoff, and like one of the cool things was on Thursday I got to talk to a couple of guys who I'm actually going to put a link to their video down below in the description, because they ended up going through the 3v3 and got second place, and it's a huge, I learned a lot from just watching them and having some discussions, and they kind of helped me change a few things with my deck. But there was a few things that I thought what I would do differently. I would probably do 2 Aluber and have 2 opening and then 2 Nadir, because there was a lot of times I had either 1 or 2 Aluber in hand, and I would also have Nadir, and both of these would get stopped in my hand. And I didn't have anything else to use. Like there was a couple times, I think I saw Crown in like maybe, I don't know, a vast majority. Like Crown was the non-engine card that I saw the most, second to Super Poly. Only every time I saw Fuwalos was a top deck when I was going second. And that was always heartbreaking. I never saw Farah unless I searched it. I still think this card's great. I can honestly say I never ever saw Droplet. And in the instances which I did see a forbidden card, like Crown was what I needed because I was going first. Mag I saw in a fairly recent amount. But like out of my deck, the biggest shiner was definitely the Mixusia. This card is it's just amazing, and it did everything I'd wanted to do and more. I even like had a low-key goal of doing this on somebody, and I made Mixusia a divine, which really did throw my opponent off when I said divine. I was like, well, it's just to make sure that I could play around Super Poly, which is true. But when I summoned this against them and banished 3 cards from their field and 3 from their extra deck, that really kind of sealed the deal. That was really cool. I never summoned Borreload. Queritus just a few times, but not really much. Pot of Sloth was probably the MVP of my side deck. I would say this card, if I saw it in my hand and it resolved, I won the game, but it didn't mean I won the round. My round score was like 2 and 4. Like I won 2, lost 4, scrubbed out. I scrubbed out after 6, and then went to did side events. Which, honestly, I had a lot of fun doing the side events. I even tried to do a regional qualifier to get ready for next year's Nats. I did fail. I tried 6 times, which is saying something, but I did not give up. But yeah, I definitely stuck with it. It was a lot of fun. It was really, I would highly recommend people, even if you don't get an invite, which I think there was some part of a misunderstanding on my part. I thought you needed an invite in order to be there at all, but you just needed an invite for the main event. But it was fun. I had a wonderful, wonderful time. Highly recommended. It was a great time. Minneapolis was a good location. Yeah, it was fun. I think the only thing that was like a little bit of a bummer was like the stress of like the online pairings. But other than that, like just being in the room with like 2,000 plus people wanting to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And talk about Yu-Gi-Oh!, trade Yu-Gi-Oh!, teach Yu-Gi-Oh!, like just watching like just some of the people that I've seen online or at major events that have done really, really well in this game. Just walking around talking with people was crazy. I will say the other thing that I found to be absolutely crazy just from a first-time perspective was the amount of people who quickly, after they topped an event or like got pricing, how quickly they turned around to try to sell it. And like, I think there's like a level in which I understand why they would do that. Like they want to make money off, something they don't need. They, probably have a million mats or whatever. But like, I think I'm coming from a perspective of like, I would have much rather have kept my pricing because I worked really, really hard for it. But if it's not something you want, then I guess, money's better. Someone's going to quote that at some point and be like, I guess money's better. Feel free. But no, I had a really, really, really wonderful time. And the deck did its job when it worked. There was times I didn't I didn't hold up my end of the deal with the deck. There was sometimes I just bricked really bad. Like one game I had Quem, Forbidden Crown, Retribution, Called By, and Magnamut as like a starting hand, and I was playing against Phantom Knight. I didn't really have much. My plan was like with this, like, and it did get stopped. Was I was gonna have Quem send McCourier, Magnamut ban the McCourier, and then get a start running. But Quem got ashed, and I set and passed. Didn't really have anything from there. But yeah, other than that, the deck did good. There's a couple times I just really struggled with it for myself. I'd never had played that many games of Yu-Gi-Oh! Before in a row for that long of a time, so the mental exhaustion was definitely setting in. There was also just like a level of unfamiliarity, like with knowing how to do it, and it's probably because I spent a little too little time preparing for other decks or understanding what certain things did. But if I had to look at it from what was my goal this past year, which my goal was to go to Nats. My goal was to get an invite and to play in the main event, and I achieved that goal. So now it's time to upgrade the goal a little bit, and that is to go back to Nats, and I want to make day 2. So we have a year to get better and a year to learn. The best part about all of this is that I won't be taking this exact same deck at a year from now because everything's going to be different a year from now. So there's a lot to learn and a lot of different things to figure out. And yeah, there's a regional coming up in Lansing on August 8th. I think I can make it to that. I'm not really sure. It's probably like a 30% chance I make it, 70% chance I don't, just with schedules and stuff. But if I do, that's going to be the first run to try to get the invite back and go and be part of the event. But yeah, this was the deck list that I had, and yeah, I would highly encourage anybody who's watching this to like learn and grow into it, but ultimately like go to Nats, get a group of people together, and just go have fun. If you know a judge, like room with them. Apparently, the judges get their room and board accommodated for. So just, all you gotta do is get a plane ticket or whatever, like drive or whatever, and just go have fun. Like it was worth it. Seeing Tom Box do judging events and aside, it was great. Huge shout out to all those side deck team members. Like they did a really good job of handling all of that. The judges were great. Every time I had a conversation with a judge, it was I felt encouraged, and I also felt like I could trust their opinions. And if they were even unsure, they would bring in another judge. It was really, really good. Highly recommend it. And then yeah, I'd say hopefully maybe between now and next year, Konami maybe get Neuron up and working in a way that you would want, and kind of send how we can make that work easier, because I think that would alleviate a little bit of the frustration. But yeah, that season's over. A new season begins. Have a deck ready to start playing. And I just realized that that's green and you can't see anything, so it looks like I'm just holding nothing. So I'm just gonna. I have a new deck, new deck ready, and ready to go. So there'll be more locals videos coming up with as time progresses, and yeah. Best of luck to all you duelists in this new season. And yeah, YCS Montreal's coming up. I definitely won't be attending, but I'll definitely be doing my best to watch and learn. And yeah, be safe, everyone.